Well fellas, I'm reasonably impressed so far. I've got my Super K aluminium tissue culture one, and I don't know if you can see this, but that plant there on the right hand side is what I'm talking about. That's the one that can grow in peat, and I've got photographs that I've taken in previous tests where it just goes totally black, and yeah, it's even green like that in with this one here with the where is it, the Super K iron. Now, so if it doesn't contaminate, I reckon we're basically in. But we can also do other things like these things can be stuck in the fridge to cool down, to slow things down, and maybe to trigger things. You know, like trick them into thinking that they're in the winter time and then coming out of winter sort of thing. But this one here, the Super K iron, it's still brown, whereas the Super K iron aluminium one has lost its brownness to a certain extent. So whether that tells us something, I don't know. But this one down here, the Super K Super S, I can tell just by eye there's a little bit too much S in there. So what I'm intending to do is to take a couple of parts of the S out and then do a one with slightly less. So I'm going to do a Super K Super S with slightly less S in it, and also do a Super Iron or doubling of the iron, and see if we get a much browner, much more enriched medium. And yeah, that might be the way to go, fellas. And I'll do another one, and yeah, I reckon that's, see, it's got that brownness of the peat, and it's not oxidizing, you know, it's not rusting. So which has always been the problem in the past. I can never stop iron rusting, and then I got to, as I said a couple of years ago, I discovered a way of stopping it from rusting, but nothing would bloody grow in it. It would actually, it was super deadly to the CP. So I was just learning a little bit more basic bog science, bog chemistry sort of thing. And yeah, anyway, so it's looking good. But as I said, the test is whether we're going to stop the bloody the two usual suspects. So I've got photographs that I've taken of, again, getting very close, but having the two usual suspects you get in tissue culture, the penicillium and the other one, what's it, is it Niagara or something? No, Astro, oh, I've forgotten the name of the bugger. But it's the two usual suspects you get as contaminants in tissue culture sort of thing. Probably because they like the sugar and it's the same sugar, I suppose. But yeah, whether these two will actually stop that or slow it down. I mean, if we get a thing where it starts to take off, but it doesn't grow any bigger than a 5-cent piece, or less than a 5-cent piece, like it's retarded or inhibited in some way, well, we can work on that, because we might find that, yeah, okay, we just double the iron content of this, and it actually absolutely totally wipes it out. You know, it struggles in this one, but in the next one we're going to try and make up and also put it into tissue culture. Yeah, because I'm running these two lines. I'm running the pot line and I'm running the tissue culture line, like in tandem sort of thing, to see what we can do, because hopefully we can then go from the tissue culture to the pot. But it might be a case of learning something from the pot and going back to the tissue culture. But you know, that's where all the work is, fellas. But yeah, it's looking good. I mean, I've had some really crappy stuff in the past few weeks, which I've photographed and filmed and things like that, and I just had just too many JPEGs, and I've got a whole load of backlog of JPEGs, a whole load of backlog of clips, and I probably won't be finished uploading them until, you know, probably end of October, I would say. But by then there might be some photographs coming out online of roots growing in this stuff, and we might start to get to see some amazing stuff. As I said, I've seen stuff in the past where I've had a banana where the stipulate bud just reflexes backwards, and I've had 3 red roots with lovely crimson red root hairs coming out, 2 on one side and 1 root on the other side, and heading down towards the soil, and then just sort of pausing, stopping, as though they're wanting something, but it's either not in the soil or it's too much in the soil, and they just sit there doing nothing for about a month or so and then die off and go black. But if I can get those bloody crimson red root hairs sort of thing, I reckon it's the front cover of CPN, fellas. They are just that good. They are. I'm putting it out there, fellas. I'm calling it. I reckon they're that good looking when you get them in that sort of crimson colour, all those fine crimson red root hairs, that it's good enough for a CPN front cover. Because basically what it's really saying is we're turning the corner, we're crossing over the ADBC sort of barrier into a new CP world, a new CP revolutionary world sort of thing, where, you know, you can grow big fat red hairy roots on your plants. And of course, once you've got good root growth, you're going to get good healthy foliage growth from that coming or stemming from that sort of thing. So, and then of course that also begs the question, if they're growing so well from the roots up, why are they being carnivorous? It just comes back to that same question. I reckon you've made a mistake with the theory, fellas. I think it's slightly wrong. I think you just got the wrong thing. I think you're putting nitrogen there, and I think it should actually be potassium at the top of the triangle for CPs anyway, you know, because I reckon they get their nitrogen from the soil trapped in there from the atmosphere. And I'm wondering whether it's actually the iron that does the fixing, because iron is one of the handful or so of elements that's known to be able to fix nitrogen from the atmosphere. But maybe it has to be in this special form. But yeah, anyway, we'll see how it goes. And oh, the sunlight's come out. Finally, the sun's coming out. So, you know, I don't know how long it's going to get to take to get cyanified on this stuff. But in the other stuff, it was taking like 2 months. Whether, because this has got iron in it, it'll be only like a month. You know, if it's a week, well, I'll definitely film it and stick it up online. But yeah, anyway, we'll see how we go. It'd be funny if this all went suddenly red or something. Had it for years, it's been green grass sort of thing, and you know, one of these semi-aquatic grass things. It'd be funny if it goes, and I like it because it's got these little things you can use as tissue culture sort of initiators. You see that? See the tips on? Oh, I am on macro, so you should be able to turn one of these things around and show it. Can you see that? You cut one of those off, and it'll be a good test whether you can strike a grass in tissue culture. Sounds very funny, isn't it? But yes, yeah, I mean. Quite a lot of grasses and things like them are like weeds in your garden. You're trying to get rid of them, but I'm trying to struggling to get them to strike sort of thing. But then again, might be going into a brave new world. Anyway, over and out.